Okay, we are going to be covering the Rwandan genocide today. Let's just dive right into it. In 1994, Rwanda, which is a country right about here in Africa, kind of in the middle, had a population of about, of 7 million. And it was composed of 3 tribes. All right, we have the Hutu, which make up about 85% of the country, the Tutsi, which make up about 14% of the country, and the Twa, which make up about 1% of the population. Rwanda is in the central center of Africa. Again, this is kind of right here. Over the course of about 100 days in 1994, the Hutus killed approximately 1 million Tutsis and moderate Hutus. Anyways, people that didn't necessarily want to go along with this. So, we're going to talk about the causes of this genocide and kind of what happened. Cause number 1, our legacy of imperialism. So, as you know from our Scramble for Africa unit, this area was very much kind of run by European countries. And so during the 1800s, European nations were taking over all of these different areas. Belgium was in charge of Rwanda. So the first cause of the genocide is a legacy of imperialism. As I just kind of stated, Rwanda was colonized by Belgium. And as they conquered as they conquered Rwanda, their plan was to divide up the population to make them easier to conquer. The Belgians favored the Tutsi. Remember, Tutsi make up about 14% of the population because they appeared to be more civilized, according to the Belgians. The Hutu were discriminated against by both the Belgians and the Tutsis. So we have a large part of the population that is being discriminated against. Alright, it was being discriminated against. In 1962, right here, and so this is a kind of a race card they would use to basically give different rights and different privileges to these different groups. In 1962, the Belgians withdrew from Rwanda and gave power to the Hutu, because the Hutu were 85% of the population, so it's kind of hard to establish a ruling class that's made up of 15% of the population. The Hutus were angry about how they were treated by the Tutsis and unleashed pogroms, which are mass killings against the Tutsis. The United Nations at this point, so the United Nations is a peacekeeping body. The United Nations is designed to help out with exactly these situations. The United Nations stepped in to create a peace treaty between the Rwandan government and the Tutsis. So the Rwandan government is run by the Hutus. They stepped in to try to create a peace agreement. This was known as the Arusha Accords. Now, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not. However, the president of Rwanda, whose name I have no idea how to pronounce, I just don't know, Habyarimana, withdrew from these peace accords. So we have an ineffective peace accord. Second major cause was propaganda. All right, the Hutus used radio and print and labeled the Tutsis as cockroaches. The third cause of the genocide, so they had very effective propaganda, as we see in several of these, very effective propaganda, pushing kind of these ideas forward. The third cause of the genocide were social factors, including poverty and illiteracy. This made citizens more likely to believe what the government was saying. And finally, the fourth and immediate cause of the Rwandan genocide was the plane of President Habyarimana, was shot down. The Hutus obviously immediately blamed the Tutsis. All right, set up roadblocks and began killing them. So we see peer pressure, people getting on board, young men and even really young boys kind of being involved, or whatever, boys being involved in these killing squads that went out. And so the aftermath of this is what? That while there were about 2,500 troops from the United Nations there on peacekeeping, nations that were there based on peacekeeping, they withdrew after the death of 10 Belgian soldiers. And so our major effects are that there were 1 million Tutsis killed. There was a worldwide call for action by the United Nations. You need to do something about this. The international community needs to get involved, and that there was ongoing conflict in the region, particularly in the Congo. And so that is our quick little video on Rwanda.